Yeah, we're in New Orleans, Louisiana. We're on our way to the Senior Bowl. We've got about a 2-hour drive to Mobile. So we'll be meeting up with Ameena later, and Ameena has planned a lot of the stuff that goes on for the Senior Bowl weekend. She'll have all the information on the interviews, practice, and scheduling. And then she and I will dig into some players, talk about the interviews, and just talk about what kind of guys these guys are and what we're walking into. I think everyone's probably got kind of their routine, and because we're in so many hotels and we spend so much time on the road, it's always nice to put your stuff into a drawer. And then that way, when I get up in the morning, it feels a little bit more like I'm at home than if I were just reaching into my suitcase and grabbing clothes. So when I first started as a young scout, I think over a 9-year period, I was like 1,300 days on the road. Not anymore. But they're the lifeblood behind an organization. I mean, I think the misconception to a degree is it's all about the player's skill set on the field, but there's really a lot more to it. Who they are as people, how they conduct themselves in the community, how they conduct themselves in the locker room, that is vital information. And the more work you do here at the Senior Bowl, it frees up more time at the Combine to go out and attack. You've got staff in the office watching these guys. We're watching these guys from home. And you take all these pieces and pull them together to make the best decision you can make. Yeah, so coming to Mobile, O'Callahan's, kind of off the beaten path burger joint. I think we're gonna meet Ameena there right now. We'll go grab lunch. So Ameena, you've never been here?
No, this is my first time out here. You said you good reviews, right?
Oh yeah, this place is awesome. Yeah, great burgers. You can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with a good burger.
Yeah.
This is your what number Senior Bowl for you?
So this is my 23rd Senior Bowl.
Holy moly.
24 counting the one I played in, because I played in this game in 97.
Okay.
97, yeah.
You played in, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
Linebackers, Matt Russell is the anchor of that bunch.
This is a big
Full circle, yeah.
That's awesome.
So.
What was your first team?
New England, yeah.
Okay.
So when I got done playing, I was originally gonna get a backpack and go to Europe and ride the train for like 3 months. And kind of do, thank you. I ended up bagging my Europe trip and I went up to Colorado, basically as a GA, but I kind of had the inside backers for that season.
Oh, that's cool.
Right after that, took a job with New England through Tom Dimitroff. I'm trying to think, 5 years at New England, 3 at Philly, and then 12 at Denver, and now back here. So this is your 3rd or 4th Senior Bowl?
3rd Senior Bowl, 5th season, just because all the COVID stuff in 20 and 21 got a little messy.
Like I know you started at Temple, and then kind of take me through how you got started.
Yeah, so I mean, I started over there as a freshman student intern. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just knew it was football. So the first spring ball I was there, our field was getting redone, so we would take a school bus from our campus to Camden at a high school to practice. And my main task was to like pass out Uncrustables to the team after practice.
Oh, is that their snack on the way back to Temple?
Yeah. And then got kept around as a GA, and then GA job led me to a job at the league office, which ultimately led me to a job here.
Got it. Did you always have aspirations of being in football?
It was definitely football. I don't think I knew it was scouting until I got here. But yeah, I mean, I rooted for the Eagles growing up. So where'd you grow up?
So I lived all over the world growing up. I was born in Japan.
No way, I didn't know that.
So my dad was in the Air Force.
Okay.
So we were in Japan, and then we were in Germany for 2 years. We were in
way.
England for 2 years.
Okay.
We were up and down the East Coast.
So you've really been all over the place. That's really. So did you ever do the trip, the backpacking trip?
No, I never did get to do it. Yeah, maybe someday I will when I'm like 60.
It's summer break 1 year. I mean, and you've been around a couple winning teams. How many Super Bowls have you been to in your career?
So this will be the 5th one, going to the 5th one.
That's awesome.
So yeah, 5th one, and it's all worth it. I mean, it's funny because if you can make it to the point where you're in the playoffs, it makes it all worthwhile. You know, all the travel, all the work that the scouting department puts in and everything. It is cool to see it come to fruition at the end.
I guess that's the fun part. That's the challenging part of why we're in scouting is like, okay, you're looking at a guy in college that has a lot of production, and it's like how does that skill set translate when you're not watching him versus even D1 college players, let alone NFL players? Right. Should be ready to go.
Right on. Let's do it.
So you probably know every other person at Senior Bowl, I would think.
It's a small world. The only problem with these all-star games and the Combine is If you spend too much time talking to your buddies, you end up not having enough
Not
time
getting
to get
anything
everything done.
Yeah. Well, I guess at the end of the day, like, right, we all signed up for a career that takes a lot of our time that we really deeply like. I feel like the competitive side's part of it too. It's like we all signed up for this career to work in an industry that's incredibly competitive, and at the end of the day, we all kind of have like a similar baseline personality. Is probably the reason that we all got into this.
Because it really is. It's a 24-hour job.
Yep.
If you're, for the most part, if you're not traveling or you're not at a school or you're not typing reports, then you're asleep.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too that it's a little bit more difficult for people to realize the human side of everyone that works in this business. They still have kids, you still have families, and you still have responsibilities,
Right.
But you do sign up for it to a degree, I think.
And I will say too, one of the cool things that I feel like I've seen over the last couple of years, even since I started in 18, is just like the number of women that are in it, and especially in scouting. Like I remember my first year, 1, 2, 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
When we went to informals last year, I think there were probably like 25 women in there, which is so cool.
Yep, it's so refreshing. Like, for those of us that have been doing this for a long time, I have a 16-year-old daughter that loves football.
Yeah.
And, we're right on the cusp of having a female GM.
Yeah.
There's a lot of barriers fixing to be broken, and I think it's a great opportunity. It's a great time as a female to get your foot in the door. I think half the battle is the relationships in the building, and I think that's what Philly's done such a great job of, is bringing in the right people.
And just having just diversity of thought and diversity of background and stuff is so important.
That is what's cool about a staff, whether it's scouting, whether it's coaching, whether it's as players. And I always think one of the things that they all have in common is the ability to relate, the ability to get along with everyone, trying to achieve a common goal. Super Bowl. I think it's such an awesome dynamic, and it never changes. It's been that way since I was a little kid on football teams, all the way up to being on staffs in the NFL. When you're with people with a common goal, I think it's a really cool force.
Ameena has an incredible skill set because she's super detailed, very smart. If something needs to get done, it's done before you even have to tell her.
If we miss out on a long snapper this draft class, it's Max's fault. The depth chart's not going to change, right? Can you ask him? Depth chart's not going to change?
I don't think
Can I run those?
Depth chart's not going to change.
She wears a lot of hats. She organizes a lot. She does evaluations. She makes school calls. She does pro work. She does college work. She does logistics. Her importance in the personnel department is huge. You're not doing a position, are you?
I have tight ends.
Oh, you do? Okay. You get a full plate.
Oh, yeah.
IT, tight ends.
Other duties as assigned.
You want to go down there in a little bit? Yeah. I just want to get down there and see those guys move around a little bit, and we'll come back up here. How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. I know. You good? Had to come all the way across the country to say hi. Hey, that's for LA. Here we go. All right, let's see this one. Oh yeah, he's athletic, man. That kid is out of place, in my opinion.
There it is. Look around inside, Joe. There's